Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Quantum Guide Show. Today, I'm very happy to bring on a new guest, Amy Litwiller. Let me tell you a little bit about her. Amy is from Ontario, Canada, and she is a psychic medium and Reiki practitioner. Amy learned of her ability after having open heart surgery in 2015. She was born with a rare heart condition, which resulted in her receiving her final rites at just a few months of age. They said that she wouldn't make it to be the age of 40, but here she is, and she just turned 41 years young. Amy is here to help others who are struggling with the same gifts, are afraid to be their true selves, and she shares her stories to show that there's nothing to fear. There's always light at the end of every dark tunnel. Today, we will talk about Amy's origins, and she will do some card readings for the audience. All of the links are featured below in the description. Check me out, subscribe to my channels, leave me a comment, like my videos, and please do share my content with your friends. I'm very happy to let you know that channel memberships are now available so that you can help to support my channel and take advantage of my perks. So without further ado, Amy, welcome to the Quantum Guide Show. How you doing?
Hi, Karen. Thanks for having me on. I'm doing well, thank you.
Good,
How are
good,
you?
good. Seems to be a day of technical difficulties. I'm not
Oh,
sure whether we're going to be live streaming to Rumble. So,
okay.
those of you who are watching the show might have to come over to YouTube to participate in the live chat. And I don't know what went wrong. It just seems to be one of those technical oddity days. Yeah. So it's nice to finally meet you, Amy.
You
Um,
too.
yeah, so how about if we start off with you talking a little bit about, you said that you found out that you had paranormal abilities after you had had open heart surgery. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. As you mentioned, I was born with a rare heart condition, tetralogy of Fallot, and I've had many surgeries growing up. And the first one I had since then was in 2015, which was a valve replacement. And my good friend is a certified medium, Reiki master, who taught me Reiki. She gave me Reiki after my surgery, and that's when she told me that I had the ability.
Wonderful. So how did it start manifesting for you as a psychic medium?
Just recently, ever since she told me, but I don't remember much of my childhood growing up just because of like the trauma of being in the hospitals and then school. But I think maybe when I was in my teens, I believe I would start getting some dreams that wouldn't make sense. So
Hmm.
I usually get all my experiences in dreams.
Hmm. So do you have contact with people who are deceased, or like what kind of mediumship do you experience?
Yes, I've always been able to see loved ones that have passed in dreams. I've also been trying to connect more during the waking state, so that's been going pretty well lately. And but just mostly I get visits in my dreams and strange events.
Mhm. And so what kind of information do these different beings give to you that you use?
Well, I've been getting a lot of worldly events that have been happening or that have been leading up to what has been happening, and I tell some of my close friends about them, and they're like, "Stop dreaming! It's all coming true." I'm like, "I can't help it." So
Can you
just
give us
like
some
last week,
examples?
yes. So last week I had a dream about a piece of a plane, and I'm like, "What does that mean?" And I don't. It's like my dreams are like riddles. I don't know what happens until it happens. So yeah.
Hmm.
So the piece of the plane, and then I had a loved one come to me this week saying something about a visit and the number 17, and then I'm like, okay. So then the incident with the recent airplane in Toronto happened on the 17th.
Interesting, interesting.
I even told a coworker about that too, and she's like, "Yeah, I remember you told me about that." I'm like, "I know, right?" So it's pretty crazy. And what else? So many. Um, actually, a mutual friend of you and I had a dream about them long, long ago when my ability first started, and I
Mhm,
told him about it. I was actually in the Alcatraz prison in my dream.
mhm,
So I'm like, what am I doing here? And just seeing like bombs going off and bodies, and I don't know. I was on the rooftop, and then there's a man there, and then I told my friend about that, and I'm like, why am I telling him this? Because he then told me that that story had resonated with him, that he knew somebody that worked there that went missing
mm,
long ago.
interesting.
So yeah, I'm just
Mhm,
like, okay, why am I being shown this then?
mhm, mhm.
I don't know.
And
They
how
just
did
yeah.
sorry, go ahead.
Oh, that's okay. I just can't explain what I get. So, like, it's hard
Mhm,
to. I don't know why I'm being shown this, but I am being shown it for a reason.
mhm, mhm,
Mm.
mhm. And how did all of this lead you to card reading?
Card reading. Basically, it was just for myself in the beginning, like
Mhm,
guidance cards to get messages from my guides if I couldn't figure out a message or what I'm supposed to be doing. So I would do a daily card for myself, and then I'd be like, okay, yes, that makes sense. And I just fell in love with them, and I have quite a collection. I'm just drawn to a card and I get it.
mhm. What kind of cards do you usually use?
I'm mostly drawn to oracle cards. I do have a few tarot decks, but more so oracles.
Mhm. And what's the difference between a tarot deck and an oracle deck?
Tarots, I find people are always scared of tarot.
Mhm,
There's nothing to be scared of tarot, but the oracles are a lighter version of what the tarot would be. So, like,
mhm,
I actually picked two cards today, and well, two decks to bring today. I picked the Starseed Oracles.
mhm.
So this is the Oracle, and it's one of my favorite decks. And then I have also this is a lighter version of the tarot. It's an Angel Tarot, so
Oh,
aliens and
yeah.
angels.
Nice, nice, interesting.
Yeah, so the oracles are basically just like a lighter version to not to for people to be too scared of what the tarot is.
Mhm, mhm.
Because you get
So
the devil
people that are
card.
just
Yeah.
getting their first experiences with it, like
Yeah, because like even I was a little nervous about the tarots, but then I'm like, once I started doing them for myself, because it's like, oh, okay, it's not so bad. It doesn't usually mean what it says. Like people get scared of the devil card, which actually means shadow work, pretty much.
mhm,
You work on
mhm,
yourself, the shadow side of you. And then if you get the death card, it doesn't always mean a physical death. You could be
mhm,
having a spiritual awakening, so like a rebirth, new beginnings, like an
mhm,
ending.
mhm, mhm. Very interesting. And, so basically, from what I'm understanding from what you're saying is you don't take the cards literally, they're very symbolic. And
Mhm.
are they about the past, the present, or the future?
Oh, they can be. There's spreads that are for past, present, future. I also have a dream card spread on one in one of my other decks. So
Mhm,
like it interprets, say there you have a dream, and then you choose four cards from the scene of your dream, and then it
mhm,
explains what you're going through in this period.
mhm, mhm. And,
Mhm.
I was also wondering with the psychic mediumship, do people contact you, and are you able to, contact somebody from their past or life and get messages for them, or how does that exactly work if people wanna get help?
Oh yes, I have had people message me, and so usually I haven't done many live readings, but when I connect, I'll ask for their loved one to come forward, and
Mhm,
I will get messages and images or names, numbers, and I will tell them about it, and it's usually pretty accurate.
mhm, Mhm.
Like people I don't even know I've done for, or if I recently just came in contact online, and they'd be like, "Whoa."
Mhm.
I've even received a message in a different language, and I only know one language.
Oh,
So
that's interesting.
it's quite amazing. Yeah. So this one person that I recently been talking to, I got a word in my head. I can't remember it at the moment, but so I'm like, then I go to Google to sound it out. What does it mean? Because I've never heard it before. And
Mhm.
then it's an Italian word for like protection.
Interesting.
Yeah, so like, okay, I learned Italian. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's pretty neat. I'm
Mhm.
like, wow.
Mhm.
Just that one simple little word can go a long way.
Mhm. Mhm. So, we have someone in the live chat named Denise. Denise, did you have a question for Amy? Would you like her to do your cards for
I
you?
can,
We'll just give Amy a few minutes to get back to us. Was there anything else you want to tell us before we start doing some readings, Amy?
um, not at the moment. So,
Well, Denise might be busy, or it might just take a few minutes for her to
mhm.
get back to us. I'm wondering if maybe in the meantime, do you want to do my cards for me, Amy?
Sure, I can do that for you. I
Thanks.
have chosen the Starseed Oracles. So like this is my favorite deck. I also had a card reading from the woman who created this deck, Rebecca Campbell, a year
Mm-hmm.
or so ago, and it was really awesome. So, is there anything you want to ask, or just see what they have want you to know?
I think probably I would like to know what my next steps should be because, as you know, I recently published a book and then I published
Mhm.
another book, and I've been um, working with marketing and promoting my books. And I've also been producing some full color PDFs that are available on my website. And I'm not sure where I should go from here because I've been working so hard on getting my books out that that was sort of my focus. So now I'm kind of curious what my next steps might be or should be or what to expect.
Okay, so yeah, so two cards fell out of the shuffle while you were talking about that. So the first card you got was lifting the veil, questioning everything, anything unaligned must go. So, and then the second one is new earth. It's happening. Keep holding the vision.
Interesting. Hmm.
Mhm. So for me, for my readings, I like to go in the book, and then I like
Hmm.
to my version of what it means.
Sure.
So lifting the veil. Just gotta find it here. There it is. Number 86. And numbers are usually important part of the message as well.
Hmm.
Okay, lifting the veil. Okay, unless you don't mind me reading from the book.
No, I don't mind. I don't mind.
Okay, so lifting the veil. Things aren't always as they seem. This era of uncovering mistruths so we can remember ancient truths. Everything is in a state of recall and realignment. Anything that isn't in harmony with the planet will not survive. This goes for society and the world at large as in our own lives. If you pull this card, you're being called to energetically scan your life for things that may no longer be a vibrational match for who you are and how you've grown. To dismantle the systems and ways of being that once served you, others no longer do. So getting rid of the old. Um, so people come into our lives at a certain point, but then things happen, and unfortunately, we just move on from that period. Some
Hmm.
star seeds are here to lift the veil between the seen and unseen worlds. The star seeds, your person from the cosmos, ET, um, to shine a light on the things that are inauthentic or unaligned with the survival of well-being of Earth. I get a lot of these cards, so you're sharing your story, um, like your book comes out, sharing your experiences that you had with others, and just like myself, you're here to make a difference in the world. to shine
Mhm.
more light on it, to stand for and protect those who don't have a voice. So those
Mhm.
who, like me, as I am a bit nervous, I have had like anxiety with public speaking, but recently I've discovered my voice and it's just happening.
Mhm. Mhm.
So yes, bring humanity back. And sorry, I lost where I was.
It's okay.
Okay, yes. Some starseeds cannot tolerate things that aren't congruent. They are here to bring society back and with the planet and the creator at large. If we tolerate things in our life that aren't aligned and congruent with, we add to the misalignment of the planet. You're being called to trust yourself and notice what is out of alignment and then take the baby steps required back into harmony. It's not easy, but it's worthwhile
Mhm.
for both you and the planet.
Mhm. Interesting. So, so that's a little, it sounds to me like that's a little bit about um, letting go of things
Mhm.
that don't serve me and keep persisting with things that are going to help humanity. Is that what you would say?
Yes. Mhm. Yep, that's it. um, Getting humanity back to its roots.
Mm-hmm.
Earth News. I don't know why I can't find these right now. Sorry.
Okay, that's okay.
New Earth. Oh, there it is. Okay. Sorry about that.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Okay, so New Earth, it's saying for you not to give up. You're closer than you think. Uh, it's hard to hold frequency of a new age when it feels as if so much is crumbling and so many are losing faith. This is your sign that you're facing the right direction. So things might not be how you had planned them to be in the beginning, but
Mm-hmm.
they are coming together. Um, you're in the right direction. You have a great gift of being to see the potential of things before they exist, like seeing things before they happen.
Mm-hmm.
Tend to new seed, dream them into existence. Don't lose faith. Keep your focus.
Mm-hmm.
So, planting new seeds and bringing about a shift that ages is no mean feat. It requires extreme trust and a radical vision. Just remember, you have to have faith.
Mm-hmm.
You choose to be here to be part of this global shift, whether you're bringing it about through prayer, meditation, or working on a project, which was your book, and you're on your second book. So creativity. Um, don't give up. The world needs more dreamers like you.
Interesting. Yeah. So, um, you know, I often actually do see things before they come. What I see actually is not necessarily the future, but I get these, I see timelines that are possibilities, possible timelines that are
Hmm.
coming. And I do believe that we're in for a huge shift, a huge shift. I think it's already started all over the world like a ripple effect. And I also firmly believe, and which is why I wanted to get both my books out, is because I believe ET contact is going to be completely exposed in the near future.
Wow.
And I think that people need to know what to expect so that they can stay grounded and not get freaked out and also not fall for the
Mhm.
mainstream media because I also believe that there's going to be a false alien invasion. But with my own experience with extraterrestrials, they're very highly evolved beings. They would, if
Mhm.
first of all, if they were going to harm us, they would have done so a long time ago. And second of all, they're moved past all that, as I describe in my book, they've moved past all that because all war does is brings more war and more hardship, and it doesn't really solve anything as we've seen here on Earth looking at thousands of years of history, right?
Mhm.
So,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
so I don't know if you're familiar with Chris Bledsoe. He has a book called UFO of God. And
Oh, yeah, I've
he's
heard about that.
yeah, he says that in, basically Easter or the equinox in 2026, there's gonna be a huge, transformation and unveiling, which is only a
Mhm.
year away, and so he feels that people need to, um, elevate themselves as much
Mhm.
as possible in the next year to be ready for that.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't see specific dates, but I also do see a future event where I think I don't know exactly what is gonna change or how it's gonna change, but I definitely see big changes too, so
Oh, yes, me too. I've also had encounters with them in my dreams as well.
mhm. You wanna
Yeah.
tell us about some of that?
Oh, sure. So a few years back though, I've actually seen UFOs. Actually, two with some close friends and my boyfriend. Right, and we're having a campfire, just looking up at the sky. My one friend's like, "Oh, look at that!" I'm like, "Oh, wow!" So we're all looking up, and we saw two UFOs, and they were glowing orange, and they were kind of like chasing each other diagonally. But then they
Mhm,
all just vanished.
mhm,
All four of us saw it, and it was quite an interesting experience. And a few years ago, I had an encounter with the Greys in a dream. It was not so nice, the one that I experienced. So I felt they were dragging me away somewhere, like they were trying to take
mhm,
me with them. Like they picked me
mhm,
up. There's two of them. They picked me up, but I was yelling and yelling for my friend to help me. And in my dream, she came and she was using her hands like energy work something. And then at that moment, I woke up from that dream state.
mhm, mhm. Joshua says, "Hi, Amy." He just, joined us. Joshua, would you like to have your cards done?
Hi, Joshua. Yes, we can do that for Joshua. See what we have here for Joshua. Oh, there we go. Okay, Joshua, you got the great serving. Mars energy, anger, conflict, softening to love. So Mars energy, great serving. Okay, great serving, 72. Okay. Okay, oh, this is a shadow card. So you have to work on your inner self, inner healing from past like traumatic events through over the years. It is hard to do. There's a lot of anger inside of you. You have to release and get out. We are all human, having, I mean, we're all souls having a human experience, and that can cause conflict in how you're feeling. You have to be open to more love, but in order to do that, you have to work on yourself, and then you'll be able to share your love more with yourself and others.
Did you have any other any questions, Joshua, that you'd like answered besides that? Just waiting for him to respond. Yeah. So while we're waiting, Amy, do you have services that people can contact you to take advantage of?
Um, right now, all my readings are free. I do not charge for
Mhm,
anything. You can reach me on Facebook, Instagram. I'm more active on Facebook, but I do have an Instagram as well.
mhm. Okay, Joshua says, I have been feeling blocked and
Mm.
bottling anger. So what can I do to change that?
So you can try by meditation. Meditating always works I've found it help me also. And what else? Maybe writing a journal, getting out your anger in a journal, and getting out in nature will help block that as well. Like unleash, yes, hang on, anger. What can I do? Yes. Okay. Blocked. So hang on. That's what I'm saying. Gotta see here. What can I do? Oh, there we go. Oh. Okay. Big picture thinking. Okay. Okay. Okay, the big picture thinking. Visionary inspired ideas. So you have many ideas. Pilates energy. Big picture thinking. Can I find? Oh, there it is. 38. Okay, here we go. All right. So you're being called to be a visionary for the planet. Take a breath, shake off what you've been taught about the world. You're a natural thinker to generate ideas for the future, birth a new age, and dream a new world into being. So you're a dreamer. So show people how you see the world or how you see you. People needs more. The world needs more people like you. So you have to let go of whatever is holding you back to bring out your creative side. You're afraid that people will what is the word? They won't understand you. I'm sorry, just having a hard time. But sometimes this happens when I get a message. It's probably your blockage that I'm getting. That you have a hard time showing people the real you, and you're afraid that they will not like you for what you do or how you act. But you have to overcome that. Um, so they're calling you to be a leader. Yeah, and it takes great courage to pave a new path to trust your vision before it's a reality. If that makes sense.
Yeah, there you go, Joshua. I hope that was helpful. Sounds like he has a major role to play in helping to elevate humanity.
Yeah.
So the beginning of your message was for him to do his shadow work and then to step into being who he is and not being afraid of what people are going to
Yes.
think or say.
Yeah,
And
that's
let's
what I'm
face
trying
it,
to
when we start showing our true selves, there's always seems to be a punishment
mm-hmm.
where people start to make fun of us
Oh.
or they make trouble for us or God
Mm-hmm.
knows what. Joshua says, definitely a dreamer. Just wish I had a clear sign to push me into action versus dream.
Meditate and ask your guides or your angels or loved ones, whoever you talk to, and that little voice inside your head, that would be them guiding you. So just trust your intuition, but definitely meditation.
Now, what
And
kind of meditation do you recommend people do? The kind where you stop thinking, or the kind where you just get into a peaceful state? Or what do you recommend, Amy?
both, whatever makes them feel most comfortable. I know there's
Mm-hmm.
some that don't like the quiet, so I always suggest to try to find like a guided meditation on YouTube. I've done those before, but me, I like the quiet, so I get into a real meditative state and just let it go and just go from there and see what happens. Once you get into that state of calmness, then you'll be able to receive the messages more clearly. And it has taken me a while to do that as well.
Yeah, me too. It's getting into a state of listening and receiving. And I also found that I had to stop uh, being fearful or anxious. So to really calm down and to start listening to those little subtle
Mhm.
messages that come kind of float in and bubble up
Mhm.
and can inspire us actually quite a lot.
Mhm.
Amy, I'm just going to take a quick 2-minute break to play a promotion for my books, and then we'll come back and we'll pick up where we left off.
Okay.
Learn the stunning details about ET diversity and culture, along with their advanced ways of living and expressing spirituality, which is in no way like anything imagined here on Earth. Transdimensional, Meet the New Neighbors, introduces you to many different ET beings, the healing pods, the interior of the big ship, my orientation process, cultural events, and off-world mating practices. In my contact experience, I learned a great deal about the big ship, intergalactic and transdimensional travel, intergalactic planetary research, and the various options for resettlement. Once I published my first book, I felt the need to create a second book called Transdimensional 2, Meet the Greys Picture Book. I worked with AI to develop many images of beings that we have come to know of as the Greys. These beings come from many places, realms, dimensions, and timelines, and although they are of the same species as other humanoids, they are from many different family lines and races. What qualifies them as greys is that their skin does not contain the pigment necessary to reflect light in our visible range of the color spectrum, so to us, they all appear to be various shades of gray. Beyond this physical attribute, there is much diversity in their origins, cultures, purposes, and physiological details. My goal is to get you used to the looks of beings which are different than humans in order to reduce your fear and increase your familiarity so you will remain more rational and grounded once the ET presence escalates beyond debate. Enjoy these images and notice the things we have in common so you will see that although they are different from us in appearance, we are essentially many family lines within one species. Paperback and Kindle versions of both books are now available on Amazon worldwide. Search the Amazon and Kindle bookstores and pick up your copies today. And we're back. So, for those of you who are joining us later, I am visiting with Amy Litwiller. She's a psychic medium and she's doing card readings for us today. So, please do join us in the live chat with any questions you might have. If you'd like to have your cards done, if you'd like to have a reading or anything like that, you're welcome to join us. Yeah, so Amy, I know that you're on a, oh, Joshua said, thank you for the insight. You're very welcome. And so I know that you classify yourself as a light worker, and I just wondered if you want to speak while we're waiting for more people to come into the chat. Do you want to speak a little bit as to what your mission in life is?
Mhm.
Obviously, you've had been close to death with your health condition, and I'm sure that has given you a different perspective on life and on reality and makes it a bit more serious to make good use of your time while you're here. Do you want to tell us a little bit about how that is for you?
Yeah, sure. So it's been quite a struggle, a long journey to get to where I am now, from being in the hospital most of my childhood. And yeah, then school, being bullied. So I don't really remember most of my childhood up until a certain point,
Mm-hmm.
bits and pieces. And um, I had an experience one night in a dream that I was floating on a silver lake outside the gates of heaven, and there was two large pillars, golden, and a big white door. And I saw two guards on the pillar. I'm like, wow. And I'm thinking maybe I was there when I was being given my final rites, or if I was there when I had my surgery in
Mm-hmm.
2015. So that experience just like opened my mind. Like, yes, there is a place for us. It's not the end when you are when it's your time to go. It's not the end. There is some place to go. And
Mm-hmm.
just seeing that, it was like, so I'm here to share my experiences and that is that not to be afraid. There are things out there that are scary, and they want you to be scared. So they're trying to, like, they feed off your fear, and then that's what holds you back from being your true authentic self. And like people, like you said, they like to make fun of what they don't understand.
Mhm.
That's not okay either, because then
Mm-mm.
nobody's going to want to say who they are, how they, what they can do. And
Mhm.
it's time to come out of that shadow place and into the light.
Mhm.
And
Absolutely.
I come to learn that, okay, people won't like me. That's okay. Not everyone will like me, and I don't like everybody. So
Mhm.
there's some people you can get along with, and some there aren't.
Mhm. Mhm.
And
Yep.
that it just is. And because before, when I was younger, I would try so hard to be friends with people who didn't
Mhm.
like me, and then that didn't work out. And so I was on my own for a lot of my childhood, but that was okay because it made me the person I am now.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's not what happened, it's what you do with it that matters in the long run. You
Hmm.
know, it's interesting you mentioned that. I moved here to Alberta from the west coast of British Columbia, actually on Vancouver Island. And it's very progressive on Vancouver Island. You know, a lot of so-called hippies, but a lot of people who have been part of the spiritual evolution of humanity and, you know, very forward-thinking people and non-judgmental and honoring great diversity and everything. And then I moved to Red Deer, Alberta, and it was like going back 100 years. Like I couldn't believe how conservative everyone was. And I'm not making a political statement here. I'm just talking about how it hit me and how I perceived it to be. So I started looking up my relatives wanting to make friends, and they just treated me actually quite badly. They treated me like I was some kind of a circus freak and told me I wasn't welcome at their house or to their gatherings or anything. Well, me, I like to roll with the punches, so I just went, okay, fine. Your wish is my command, and then I didn't have to go to all these boring family gatherings. You know, that's how I looked at it as being a good thing. And but funny thing is, my cousin Betty had called me up and told me that I was weird and I made her feel uncomfortable and I was not welcome until I could act like her daughter, Lorene, until I could act like her daughter, Lorene, then I would be welcome. And I got off the phone and I thought, you got to be kidding. I don't know how to act like anybody but myself, you know? And I just went, I don't care. Well, anyway, a few years go by and Betty passes away. And of course, none of the family's talking to me, so I don't know that Betty's passed away. But I go to sleep and Betty shows up in my dream. And I was like so surprised to see her. I went, "Hey, oh my gosh, how nice to see you." And she was smiling. She didn't say anything, but I could tell what she was thinking and feeling. And she gave me this great big hug. And I looked at her and she looked beautiful. She looked like she was about, well, she was pretty old when she died, like maybe, I don't know, close to 80, but she looked like she was like 50 years old. She had this beautiful white lace gown on and she was happy and she just hugged me and hugged me. And it made me feel so good that she came to see me before she passed over. Well, a few days later, I saw on Facebook one of my relatives posted how sad they were that Betty had passed away. And I counted the days back, and it was exactly when Betty came to see me in my dreams. And I had no way of knowing that. But it was nice because it like I know she loves me. She was just an imperfect human, you know, and she had her own battles with cancer and different things. And you know, I guess I was supposed to know not to take it personally, but I didn't really realize it at the time. Sorry, got a drippy nose here.
That's okay.
And but it was lovely. It was lovely, you know, to see her and to have that happen. Now, since then, I also out here had an aunt that passed away, but she didn't come to see me, and that's fine. I don't care. I have an uncle out here who passed away, and he came to see me on his way out. So it's really common for relatives and friends to come see me on their way out. And it always happens to me, Amy, in my dreams as well. It doesn't happen in my wakened state. I don't see, a shadowy figure or anything like that. Always happens in my dreams. My dream states are super powerful. Kind of,
Mhm.
I'm sure you can relate to that. When you first contacted me, it was because you could really relate to what I was saying about the things
Yes.
that were happening in my dream state. Just want to say hi to Lee. Is it Lee or Leah? Hi, welcome. And would you like to have your cards done by Amy? Just let us know if you have a question. Amy, do you want to do cards for Leah? And
I could do
um,
cards
if,
for Leah.
yeah, if you have any questions or is there anything particular you'd like to know, just put it here in the live chat. And it is Leah. Okay, thank you. I'm not very good at names, and
Oh,
everybody
sometimes I'm not either.
pronounces things differently. Leah, nice to see you. Amy's going to do your cards, but please feel free to ask any questions or if there's anything
Okay.
you want her to zero in on. I'm sure she'd love to do
Oh,
that for
there
you
we go.
today.
We got a card. The Cosmic Heart, Devotion, Potency, Make Your Life a Moving Prayer.
So Leah says, yes, ma'am, I'd love a general reading. So what was the card again, Amy?
The Cosmic Heart, Devotion, Potency, Make Your Life a Moving Prayer.
The Cosmic Heart, Make Your Life a Living Prayer. Lovely.
Yeah, so the Cosmic
Lovely.
Heart, 48. 48. Okay. Okay, so you are being asked to surrender. Focus your attention deep within. You find yourself, you flow with life a lot to make your life one big moving prayer. You might have been feeling a little low in energy or not so all there at the moment. Something's holding you back. Um, that you feel that, yeah, so something is holding you back and you have forgotten what has made you start doing the task at hand. So this is your call. You're calling to reconnect with the truth center of your heart. So look deep within to your guides. Ask your guides and listen to that little voice in your head. Devote your life to what you care most about. So just again, meditation. Do the meditation. See what your guides are trying to tell you, or just keep talking to them. And let's see. So yes, you need to plant your seeds. Feed them with
Leah says, sorry, Leah says, I want to feed the homeless kids and seniors. Well, it's
okay.
pretty, that is
So,
amazing. That's awesome.
yes. So here we go. Seasons for harvesting and seasons for sowing. Right now, you're being called to plant the soul seeds and to them with deep devotion. So yes, the devotion to help the homeless and what you just mentioned. Keep doing that. So yes. So do what most expands your heart. Live your life according to what makes you come alive. So keep doing that no matter what anyone says. If someone's saying, oh, don't do this, that's a bad idea, don't listen to them. Um, make your
Leah
life.
says, Leah says she's a chef, so I guess she loves to prepare food for people.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, she says food is a blessing. Every fruit and vegetable has energy.
So the harvest, yeah, that's where the harvest comes in. And
Mhm.
yeah, so just keep doing that and make your life one big moving prayer. Keep doing that and shining your light onto others who need it.
That's really interesting, that reading, because, when I was aboard the big ship, I was surprised to find out that they don't do a religious ceremony. Instead, they live their beliefs. So their beliefs are manifest in their life by becoming more loving beings, people. And so they actually, instead of worship, they live their life in harmony with what they would have as worship beliefs. So I thought that was really interesting. Leah says, "It's my way to love without being intimate."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I guess what you just said, Amy, was for her to continue doing what
Mm-hmm.
she's doing. She's on the right path, and, she's a living prayer, and,
Yep.
that's
And people are
wonderful.
noticing it. People are noticing it too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Leah says, "Absolutely, I hope we reach unity consciousness."
Mm-hmm.
Me too.
Me
I'm
too.
reading I'm reading the comments out loud because people will be listening to this on an audio podcast so that they get to, know what the people said in the live chat.
Mm-hmm. I've also been on a ship as well in my dreams. I
Mhm.
don't know if it was the same one, but I was brought up a couple times. It was pretty interesting.
Yeah, what was that like for you?
Um, it was a little. I wasn't scared, but it was a little. But sometimes you don't expect it to happen, but
Mhm.
because it's so realistic. And
Mhm.
so the first one of the ones that I had, there was people in the water, so I was in the water, and this. I think I showed you the painting of the one that I did. So
Yep.
that one, it was bringing us up into it, and it was all like black inside, and but I was like against the wall, like I couldn't see anything. So that one
Mhm.
was a bit of a strange experience for me on that one. But the other one that I had recently, about a year ago, is they brought me up. It was a white ship, maybe it was that one, and it was white inside, white walls, and a window. And they let me look down through the window at the earth, or for what I saw to be the earth. And then they just let me go, but I was begging them to bring me back up. I'm just like, bring me back,
Mm.
bring me back. And then I heard
Mhm.
before waking up, your mission is not complete. So I just get goosebumps, and I'm like, okay. I was like, ooh, there we go. Sorry. So I was like, okay. So I feel I'm just here to like share my story and my experiences with people and try to help them in their life journeys as well.
Mhm. I think we could do a lot of that, helping each other. Leah says, "I will step into the life of unconditional love. It's the best." I
Mm-hmm.
agree. And you know what's interesting, Amy, is in my education, even my family, I wasn't really taught what love is. What does love mean, you know? And then when I started to learn what love meant, I realized I had to learn to love myself, and that was the hardest of all. And and that's not just warm affection, that's also having patience with myself, having self-control, learning to control my temper, like a whole bunch goes into it. And I found that once I got good at doing that for myself, then I found it easier to do that with other people. Leah says, "Karen, can you and your dear guest tell if someone has been upgraded or interacted with?" So Leah's talking about extraterrestrials here. And
Mm-hmm.
she says, bingo. And she says that's what Source wants for us. So I'm assuming Leah's talking about my comment about self love. And
Mm-hmm.
I would say to you, Leah, just from my own experience, how you can tell if you've been upgraded is your priority shift. So instead of wanting to have a more modern car and the biggest TV and um, the most expensive holiday, now all of a sudden we start to kind of be conscious of how we interact with ourselves and other people. And we start to want to be more loving because we see it's the only way to help to change this world by changing ourselves. So that's what I would say. Amy, what would you add to that? How you could person could tell if they're being upgraded or even interacted with ET?
Hmm. Good question. So for me, it was just they just came in my dreams, and um, you just get that feeling like my body always gets all tingly and whatnot, or I'll have an experience like I've had a few where I felt someone massaging my face when I was like sleeping, and they had blue hands. So I feel that was my one of my guides at the time, or they just watch over you, signs and symbols, or just keep just looking out for those signs and symbols, and they usually like to come to you in the dream state. So, or
Hmm.
just your feel, your intuition. If you feel that you have, then that means you have, and it's just being a little bit slow process, because not everybody can handle all the upgrades at once. So I also see
Yep.
like chakra colors when falling asleep or waking up. So I
Hmm.
know that's a sign that the that's happening as well, like a chakra energy work. So they're helping you work on your energy. And,
Yeah, Leah says, I'm just starting to feel my body is energy. So
mhm,
yeah, that's what I would say. How you can tell is your priority shift, what you start thinking about changes from the material world to the
mhm,
spiritual world. We start to notice things that we didn't notice before.
mhm,
Like what Amy was saying, we have a lot of our experiences in the dream state. And what I find is and what I used to do is I used to discount what was happening to me in the dream state. I was going, oh, that was just a dream, kind of discounting it. But then I got to the point where I couldn't discount it anymore. And I went, oh my God, this is real. This is
mhm,
real. And then I started paying attention to it. And then when I started paying attention to it and consciously uh, remembering, I started having the most amazing paranormal experiences. And
mhm,
that's the other thing I do before I go to bed at night. I tell myself that I will remember my dreams. I will remember. And then I wake up and I remember because I just was sleeping and dreaming. And then
mhm,
remind myself of what I was dreaming about. Then I go back to sleep and then I remember that as well. So,
mhm.
oh, let's see what Leah says. She says, I saw golden
Ooh,
symbols moving and morphing one night. Yeah, symbols, as
ooh,
Amy mentioned, that
mhm,
is, a really common form of contact. So I believe you
yeah.
are definitely having contact. What do you say, Amy?
Oh yeah. One night I at the old place, I was half awake and half asleep, so my eyes were closed, but I saw some kind of an orb, like it was a metallic pinkish purple or something. It was like almost like an eyeball. It was like looking at me. So I'm just like, okay. I'm like, so things like that when you see like that. And when you mentioned gold, I actually had a dream about gold the other night too. So like a golden bar or something.
Interesting. So Leah also says, Karen, are you in the USA or Canada? And where's Amy from? Oh, and you're in Chicago, Milwaukee. Amy's in Ontario. Are you in Southern Ontario, Amy?
About outside of Toronto, an hour outside of
Toronto.
Toronto.
And I'm in central Alberta. So I'm on almost the opposite coast as Amy, but we're both in Canada. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, well, we've got we've got about 5 more minutes. Is there anybody out there who would like a reading or has a question or a comment or something that we could talk about? That would be great. Leah says, oh, so beautiful in Canada. Love your country. Thank you. Yeah, it is a beautiful country. And I got to tell you, I'm really hopeful for the new technologies that are coming out. They call it zero point energy and energy that doesn't come from coal or gas or electricity. It just takes energy out of the atmosphere from the earth and produces energy. Why I'm so excited about it is because so much of Canada is unpopulated because it's so cold in the winter time. Now, can you imagine if we had these super ultra modern habitat like smaller cities, with greenhouses, and we were
Mm-hmm.
all contained in domes and things,
Oh
so that
gosh.
in the winter time, we would be protected from the bitter cold. Well, there's a lot of Canada that is unexplored. There's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
Canada that's uninhabited. We could live anywhere in Canada. We could have amazing forms of transportation. Maybe we could live in cities that are domed, and then in the springtime, the domes retract, and we have all the fresh air and the beautiful habitat. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, really, really, there's so much we can do once these new energy technologies come out. Let's
It's
just
funny
see
that
what.
you mentioned that because I was connected a few times this week or last week, and I was seeing what looked to be like some kind of a city, and it was like a floating city, but it was like
Mhm.
on its own island or something. So maybe that was
Interesting.
maybe that's going to be, I don't know. It's very interesting. Like, hmm.
That is interesting. I visited a water world where
Yeah. Okay.
everybody lived in homes that were at the surface. And
Hmm.
then when the weather got really bad, people went indoors and the habitats all sunk deep below the ocean. And then when the weather was nice, they would come back up. Leah says you're going to have a different climate when we flip. And I know you're referring to the poles. You'll be lower and warmer. Yeah, yeah, I do believe we will have certainly warmer weather. And Leah also says, I wish I was way up there. I'm Nordic and cold is clean and I save seeds.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah. Too cold for
So
me.
we're quickly running out of time. Amy, do you have any last words for the audience? Some will be listening on the replay, some will be listening on audio. And also, can you tell people where they can find you? I will have your links in the description below. But for those that are listening on audio, it's good for you to say where people can actually reach you. So basically, your last message to humankind and where people can find you would be great.
Yes. So just keep being you. Be yourself. Keep shining your light, even though if people don't like what you're doing. Just do it. Don't hide who you are. That's not good for you or anybody. And just love, be kind. We need more kindness. That they want us divided and fight with each other, and that's what's happening. And we can't do that. So we all have to come together and be stronger together, and just all I can say is be kind. Kill them with kindness. People hate it. But yes, you can find me on Instagram and Facebook, Amy Psychic Medium. No, I am not the Amy from the Dead Files because I have gotten that a lot. But thank you for the comments. But yeah, so Amy Psychic Medium, and yeah, that's basically it. Instagram and Facebook.
Wonderful. And Leah also says, thank you, ladies. I appreciate your work. Looking forward to the next show. Amy, I'm going to seek you out.
Thank you, Leah.
Uh, yeah. And let's see. She also says, shine on, you crazy diamond. Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm crazy. I'm a good crazy though.
I think she was talking about the symbol up above your head, but yeah.
That's okay, whatever.
Well, we're all a little bit
Yeah.
crazy one way or another, aren't we? So thank you, everybody, for joining us today. Thank you, Amy, for making the time. I know you had to take time off work to come on the
No,
show,
that's
so I'm
okay.
really honored to have you on the show. I
Thanks for having me.
think that people really appreciated what you had to say. And Leah also says, I'm going to tell my friends about you both. Thank you, Leah.
Thanks,
And
Leah.
thank you, everybody who joined us, and those that are listening later on the replay, and those who are listening on the audio. I want you to know I appreciate you all very, very much. Thank you for joining us. And I look forward to seeing you again. Oh, there's my book. Thank you,
Yep, Karen's
Amy. Thank
book.
you so much. Okay. Yeah, if you haven't done so already, my book is available on Kindle and paperback from Amazon worldwide. So with that, we'll say bye-bye and we'll see you next time on the Quantum Guide Show. Bye-bye,
Bye.
everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me for the Quantum Guide Show. Become the change that you wish to see in the world. Subscribe to my YouTube and other channels at Karen Holton TV. Click the like button, leave me a comment, and share this podcast with your friends. Read about my true life ET contact in my book called Transdimensional: Meet the New Neighbors, which is now available in Amazon bookstores worldwide. Check out my website at www.KarenHoltonHealthCoach.com to see my free resources and amazing products and services. All the links will be in the description below. As part of the Forbidden Knowledge Network, you will find the Quantum Guide Show with Karen Holton and also the Aliens and Angels podcast on all audio platforms. Until next time, keep up the good work.